Well, this is like nothing I've ever seen before. Donald Trump called in to Fox News after Vice President Kamala Harris's brilliant Democratic National Convention speech to rant about it. And because Fox News was coming up on the shift in hours onto the Gutfeld show, they had to cut him off, which was difficult, as you're about to watch. And so Trump angrily then calls into Gutfeld's show, which is not normal. He doesn't really take calls like that because it's more of a comedy show, and rants there. Gutfeld tries to cut him off. So then Trump calls into a different news station and starts ranting there. Crazy stuff. We'll get into it. Yes, I am back. I'm so sorry for being gone. You know, I felt like I was being taunted by the universe. I said on our members only bonus show the day that I started feeling sort of bad, hey, I feel sort of sick, but don't worry. No matter how sick I get, as long as my voice remains, I'll still do the show. And so then the universe said, oh no, I have a different plan for you, and took me out cold with COVID. Still have it, but I'm good enough now to do the show, and you'll be seeing lots of segments coming out today as I try to catch up. It really was brutal to have to sit as the DNC was going on and not be able to do the show. It sucked my soul out. But with that being said, here is Fox News, Trump calling in. We will go back after I show you his series of call-ins and his anger on that, and look at the full interview here.
Two quick things as we wrap up here, Mr. President. Tomorrow, do you expect to be endorsed by Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? And are you making a specific effort in Georgia to make up, if you will, with the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp?
Well, I just saw Brian on a very good man. Did you ever hear of a man named Sean Hannity? And he was interviewed by Sean Hannity, and he was very nice, and he said he wants Trump to win, and he's going to work with me 100%, and I think we're going to have a very good relationship with Brian Kemp, and that was on just before you people went on with that speech that we just listened to.
And RFK Jr.?
It just happened. And as far as RFK, I've had a great relationship with him over the years. I respect him. He respects me. I have no idea if he's going to endorse me. I know he's got a news conference. We happen to be in the same state. Arizona will be in the same state, but in quite different parts of the state. But it's possible we will be meeting tomorrow, and we'll be discussing it. He said, look, he was treated very unfairly by the Democrats. Yeah. He would have beaten Joe Biden in a Democrat primary. I have no doubt about it. And they made it absolutely impossible for him. They made it that you have to get 60, 70% of the vote just to get in. And you know what?
President.
In the end, the Democrats did the same thing to Joe Biden. They threw Joe Biden out of the party.
And that's why we saw a different night tonight.
They did to RFK.
Mr. President, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate that live feedback.
Stay right here. Live edition of Gutfeld is coming up. Thank you so much for joining us from Chicago. It's been a great week.
Good night.
So then Gutfeld starts, as you can see, and Trump was not satisfied, and he called into Gutfeld in a way that clearly was unplanned.
I don't know. I think we got to pay you a lot more money.
Hey, Mr. President, I'm live now. Say hello to my audience. So don't say anything that'll get you in trouble. All right.
I don't mind. You know, at this point, what difference does it make? We're doing well. We're leading in the polls.
All right, Mr. President.
8 points down.
Yeah.
And they said he has to get out, and they
This is so uncomfortable. He just picks up where he left off. He just keeps going.
basically staged a coup.
Yeah.
And you know, let's all see how it happens. But I think we're doing very well.
All right.
We're going to do very well.
All right, Mr. P, I gotta go.
Have a good time.
I see you.
Okay, so very comfortable. We're all having such a great time. And if we go back to, by the way, I'm going to be telling, I just wanted to mention this, some horror stories of COVID, because it was actually a funny saga. Many of you just saw me do some segments, disappear for 2 days, and now I'm back happy. But in between that, or during that period of time, some crazy stuff happened, including me sitting at this desk trying so hard next to a mountain of tissues to record a segment. and then falling asleep listening to a Trump interview as I was trying to prep this segment with my face on the desk. And that's when I knew it was time to go home. But I'll be telling those stories on the members only bonus show. You can get access to that by clicking the join button below. Here, you can tell Trump's having some tech problems, it seems.
Raising taxes. She's going to give a tax increase of 4 to 5 times what people and companies are paying right now. The country.
And Asen captioned this clip. Trump is so rattled that he keeps hitting the buttons on his phone while he's talking, which you could hear there. And I should say, because I mentioned it, that after the Fox News interview, I guess, he still hasn't had enough, and he calls in to Newsmax because he keeps getting cut off quicker than he'd like to continue the rant.
Prisons in the Congo. They're coming in from Asia. They're coming in from the Middle East. Rough places, too. Rough places.
So the normal things there. I understand that, I've said this before, I understand that fear-mongering, it works, unfortunately. And it can rile people up, and it can get people to vote for you. But with the hopeful, unifying, exciting message that we're hearing from the Vice President Harris ticket, and the message we heard from her at her speech, I just can't imagine as a voter, you could tune into the DNC, hear all the different speakers, even a Republican, Adam Kinzinger, saying this is about democracy, about a vision for a pro-American future, and hear Kamala Harris talking about policies to do things like securing the border while upholding our pro-lawful immigration values in America, talking about things like uplifting families, investing in infrastructure projects, lowering costs for Americans, making purchasing a house more doable for people, the American dream more possible. Hearing all of that, and then hearing Trump call in as a point of contrast, and going back to they're coming from jails, they're coming from insane asylums, like some unhinged guy on the subway next to you. I can't imagine too many of those gettable swing voters are going to be swung over to the Trump camp, which actually we do have some anecdotal evidence of that in the undecided voter panels that we'll talk about in a different segment. But here's more from the same interview.
She didn't talk about fracking. She didn't talk about crime. She didn't talk about 70% of our people are living in poverty. She didn't talk about housing, really. The trade deficit. She didn't talk about child trafficking that she's allowed to happen because she was the border czar.
I don't know why that noise is being made, but I do like to picture that what Asen's saying is correct, that he's so upset that his hand is clicking buttons on accident on his cell phone. Beep, beep.
She presided over the weakest border in the history of our country. It's an invasion. I was there today, as you know, Brett. It's an invasion of our country taking place at our border, our southern border.
By the way, in that clip, he said that 70% of Americans live in poverty. That's not even close to true. Let's see. Trump is... Let's see. Aaron Rupar captures this one. Trump is yelling, and Fox anchors are powerless to stop him or ask him questions. And I do want to remind you, because I still am COVID positive, the guys can't come into work, so I don't have anyone to run all the tech stuff. So if you notice me pausing or anything, it's because I'm trying to figure out how to do this all myself. But here's this.
20 million people have poured into our country. Many of them from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylum, and record number of terrorists. And other countries are releasing their prisoners from their jails. They're emptying out their jails into the United States of America because of her incompetence and her bad border policies. She is a horrible, horrible person to run this country. We won't have a...
Look at how uncomfortable the Fox hosts are. Goodness gracious. And then this, I guess, is when the interview was trying to be wound down.
Beaten Joe Biden in a Democrat primary. I have no doubt about it. And they made it absolutely impossible for him. They made it that you have to get 60, 70% of the vote just to get in. And you know what?
President.
In the end, the Democrats did the same thing to Joe Biden. They threw Joe Biden out of the party.
And that's
they
why
did
we
the
saw a
same
different
thing
night
as they did to
tonight.
RFK.
Mr. President, thank you so
very
much
much, sir.
for the time.
Okay, and that's what we already saw. So a really unfortunate night for Donald Trump. You understand why. It was an incredible night for the Democratic Party. It was an incredible night for those who, as Adam Kinzinger put it, who put country above party, right? Who put our dedication to democracy, to our Constitution, to those incredible American values that we try every day to fully embody. That's what this is about. That's what this night, or last night, was about. And I think part of the reason Trump is so rattled is that he can pick up on. For all of his faults, he does have some political instincts. That's why he's gotten this far. And he can pick up on a winning campaign. And right now, I think he can tell it's not his. And then he's being told that in the data. No matter how much he repeats that he's up in the polls, he's not. And we're seeing that even people betting on the election are increasingly siding with a Kamala Harris victory. And so his panic, him feeling like he needs to call into 3 different stations in a really frazzled tone of voice, that's coming from a place of panic. And I think that panic is justified. Because as bad as I felt last night, even I, blowing my nose over and over again, struggling to swallow because of my sore throat, even I felt that good feeling about the unifying, incredible, exciting message that was coming out of the Democratic National Convention really for the last 3 days. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments. If you want to donate to Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign, I encourage you to do so. You can do that by clicking the link in the description of this video.